But you asked me to do a little story on my life, so let it begin. All right, I was born January the 22nd, 1917 at 1347 Dowsman Street. And it was one heck of a snowstorm. I was born about 10 o'clock in the morning. The doctor came with a team of horses. My dad had to come home from work and shovel out. The wind was blowing. They say it was the worst storm in a long time. My mother was dark-skinned, and my Aunt Jenny didn't want a little dark baby. She wanted a light one. My dad was blonde. Oh, my Aunt Jenny says, "You got the nicest little black baby." She says, "Take it away then." But of course she knew. And then here I was, white as a noodle and bald as a billiard ball. But they thought I was pretty darn cute. And I had one sister, Margaret. She's 22 months younger than I am. I was very bashful and shy in school. Recess, I stayed in. When school was over, I ran like a son of a gun to get home. Well, I was friends with Lenora Schumacher. This one Halloween, she says, "Why don't you come?" I was 15. And she says, "Why don't you come and I'm having a Halloween party?" Well, my mother wouldn't let me go. We begged her enough that finally I was able to go over there. And they lived over on Willow Street. We were on 1315 Cherry at that time. They had a player piano that you'd paddle, you know, and it would play a tune and the keys would go down and we'd make believe we were playing this song, you know, having a lot of fun. And pretty soon a car came in. The back door opened up and clunk-de-clunk, in comes this little chick. He stood by the door and he looked at us all and upstairs he went. Never said one word, and I thought, oh my God, is that ever a cute guy? And pretty soon Lenora was coming over and she wasn't walking. Alfred was driving her there. He'd let her off and he'd zoom away. Well, that went on for 6 to 2 months. And pretty soon Alfred started coming alone. And that's how I met Alfred Schumacher. We were married July 31st, 1934. He was a good guy. Leanne always says to me, she says, "Was Grandpa very loving?" But he was not. He did not show his affection. You know how you can be warm and cuddly. He was not that. But you knew he liked you and he did everything for you. And he was so good to me all my life. Honoree was born November the 6th, 1935.
I just want to say hello to everybody, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Right now I'm on my way back to Crivets, and I'm going to enjoy the deer hunting. Good luck to you all too.
And then we got Janice. She was born October the 2nd, 1939.
Hello, I'm taking my lovely mother out for supper, and I'm sure we're going to have a delicious meal. And
Isn't it hard to talk?
yeah, well, I didn't know. Anyhow, happy holiday. Bye.
I'll tell you about this picture. This was taken in 1933 before we were married. It has a little later story to it. Grandpa died October 20th, 1994. A year later, I was in bed and I was having this dream, and I could hear somebody coming up the stairs. I got a 2-foot crowbar alongside of my bed, and I thought, boy, I'll crack him on the shins and then I'll get him where it hurts. And he sat on my bed and he put his head just like it is here, you know. He put his cheek on my cheek, and it was so nice and tender. It was like, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. And they got up, and when he got by the door, he turned around and looked at me. And I says, oh my God, Alfred! And I figure he came just to say goodbye and tell me not to worry, and then he left. But I was telling the kids what happened, you know. Then one day I was looking through my pictures and I saw this little picture, a snapshot. We were driving with somebody and we just stopped the car and stood like this and took our picture. And when I saw this, I says, my God, that's what happened in my dream. Well, how many years later? This was before we were married, and then after Dad died and left, the same incident with our cheek to cheek was there. Hey, maybe I feel good enough to sing you a song. I love this one now. See if I can do that. When your old wedding ring was new, the dreams that
and each dream that I've dreamed came true. I remember with pride how we stood side by side. What a beautiful picture you made as my bride. Even though silver crowns your hair, I can still
see the gold ringlets there. Love's old flame is the same as the day I changed your name. When your old wedding ring was new.
When your old wedding ring was new.
That makes me happy. The time I got left, I don't want to be too happy. I might die quicker. So